All right, hello again, 6-7. We're going to go ahead and do some math. All right. So for the first part of this video, I've decided I'm going to review how to find the areas and perimeters of parallelograms and rectangles. All right, so let's start off with the rectangle. I was actually going to start with the parallelogram, but now that I think of it, the rectangle is actually a better place to start. All right, so this is a shape I'm sure you're familiar with. All right, so rectangle is a four-sided shape. It has four 90-degree angles inside of it, and it has two long sides and two short sides. Okay, the two long sides are the same length, and the two short sides are the same length. All right, so knowing this, it gives us some insight, some idea on how we'd go about finding both the perimeter and the area. So the perimeter is the distance you would walk if you were to start at one corner of the shape and walk all the way around it until you return to that corner where you started from, like this. Okay, it's the total distance around the shape. All right, so another way you can think of it is it's also the sum of all the side lengths. It's what you would get if you added all the side lengths together. All right, so in a rectangle, like we said, these two sides are the same length. Okay, so if I know that this side up here is 7 centimeters, I know that this bottom side is also 7 centimeters. All right, now the shorter side is 4 centimeters, and this other side here is also a short side. It's the same length as the other short side. It's also 4 centimeters. All right, so like we said, the perimeter, which I'll use P to represent, is just what you would get if you added all the side lengths of the rectangle together. Now for a rectangle, it works out that it's going to be 2 times the length of the long side plus 2 times the length of the short side. So I can go 7 times 2 plus 4 times 2. Okay, and I'm going to have to work out what 7 times 2 is and what 4 times 2 is. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Okay, so it works out to 14 plus 8, which in this case is 22 centimeters. Okay, for a rectangle, you can also do it this way. I could have also said it's the same as going 7 plus 4 plus another 7 and plus another 4. Okay, which ends up working out to the same thing that we get when we multiply the 7 by 2 and the 4 times 2, then add it all together. All right, so 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 plus 7 is 18, and then 18 plus 4 is 22. All right, and centimeters, okay? Perimeter is measured in units. A number without a unit has no meaning because you can measure distance in many different units. There's centimeters, meters, decimeters, decameters, kilometers, hectometers. Like it just goes on and on, right? You need to tell me what we're measuring that in, okay? So whenever you do a perimeter question, your answer is going to be in the same units that you started with. In this case, we were working with centimeters, so our answer is in centimeters. All right, now area for a rectangle is a little bit different. To find the area, we have to take the length of the long side and then multiply it by the length of the short side. All right, so the area A works out to, in this case, it'll be 7 times 4, which works out to 28 centimeters squared. All right, so perimeter, double the long side plus double the short side. Area, long side times the short side. Okay, that's how perimeter and area work for a rectangle. Okay, now let's go up and try a parallelogram now. All right, I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to clear this little bit out of my screen so it's not distracting us for this next part of the lesson. All right, so up here I have a lovely I have a, a lovely parallelogram. Okay, and a parallelogram is similar to a rectangle in the sense that you have two long sides and two short sides. Okay, and each pair of sides is the same length. So if this long side on the bottom is 5 meters, I know that this long side up top will also be 5 meters. Okay, so like I said, very similar to a rectangle in that sense. We have two long sides. Okay, and then the short side on this side is the same length as the short side on this side. So the side on the left is going to also be 3 meters, just like the side on the right. All right, so perimeter for a parallelogram is basically exactly the same as for a rectangle. You're just going to double each of the side lengths and then add those results together. Okay, so in this case, for this parallelogram, my perimeter is going to be equal to the length of the long side, which is 5 times 2. Okay, and to that I'm going to add the length of the short side, okay, times 2. Okay, so I'm taking each side length and timesing it by 2, and then adding those results together. Okay, so 5 times 2 is going to give me 10. Okay, and 3 times 2 gives me 6. So I'm going to go 10 plus 6, which equals 16 in this case. Okay, so my perimeter in this case will be 16, and I'm done. Or am I? I forgot something very important there. Does anyone know what it is? Yes, the units. Very good. So I'm going to put my unit after my answer. So it's 16 meters. Okay, 16 meters is our perimeter. And just like before, I could have also gotten to that correct answer by doing it this way. I could have thought, okay, I'm going to start on this corner here on the top left. If I'm walking around the shape, I have to go 5 meters, and then 3 meters, then 5 meters, then 3 again. So adding those numbers together would also get me my perimeter. So it would be 5 plus 3 plus 5 again, and plus 3 again. Okay, adding those together, we see 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 3 is 16. We get the same answer, 16 meters. All right, so this is where things get a little bit different from what we did with the rectangle. Similar, but different. Okay, so for area, it's not just one side length times the other. For a parallelogram, it's going to be the length of the base, the side on the bottom, times the length of the height, which is the perpendicular distance between the base and the other long side. All right, so in this case, this blue line is our height, okay, and it's 4 meters long. Okay, our base is 5 meters. Okay, so first I'm just going to write the general formula. So area is equal to the base times the height. I'm actually going to write out the whole word this time, just so we can really let that sink in and burn that into our memory. Okay, so it's the base times the height of the parallelogram. Okay, and the base is the length of usually the bottom side. Okay, and the height is the distance between the base and the other side that it's parallel to, the other side that's the same length as it. Okay, so for this parallelogram, the base is 5 meters, right? That's the length of our bottom side here. So it's 5 meters times the height, which is this blue line here, 4 meters. All right, so 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Okay, and for area, the answer is in square units. Okay, so you start with the unit that you began with, in this case meters, put a little tiny 2 just up and to the right like that. That means meters squared, right? Because area is two-dimensional, we have to actually measure it with little squares. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and also take a look at that worksheet we were doing the other day, that dealt with perimeter of rectilinear shapes. I'm just going to go over the first two examples again, and I'm also going to do example 3 as well. One moment, please. I'm just going to pull that up for us. Okay, and this is not an invitation to talk. Okay, just because the video pauses for a second. All right, so let's go ahead and do the first two examples again. All right, so just like with the parallelograms and rectangles, perimeter is the same idea, right? You imagine that you're starting at one of the corners and walking around every side of the shape and adding each length together. Now in this first example here, number 1, we're missing one of the sides of our shape. All right, we're missing this side here. But we do know that this side, okay, so this side here, which I'm highlighting in blue, and this other side here that I'm highlighting in blue, together they have to add up to 8 centimeters, okay, which is this side over here. Okay, so to find this missing length, we simply take the longer side that's parallel to it and subtract the shorter side that it's parallel to. Okay, 8 minus 5 equals 3 centimeters. Okay, and then to find the perimeter, it's just going to be us adding all these numbers together. So it's going to be 8 plus 10 plus 5 plus 7 plus 3, and then plus 3 again, because this other side is also 3. So 8 plus 10 is 18. 18 plus 5 is 23, 23 plus 7 is 30, 30 plus 3 is 33, and then 33 plus 3 gives us 36 centimeters. Okay, friends, give me one moment. I'll be right back. Just have to check my phone. All right, I'm just expecting an important message and call, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss that. I thought I heard my phone go off. But we're good. So let's go ahead and do question 2 now. I'm going to switch colors for this one and do it in purple. Okay, so notice this time we're missing 2 of the sides. We're missing this side here and also this other side next to it. Now, we know that this long side up top here is 12 centimeters. Okay, we know that this side on the bottom here is 8 centimeters. So it stands to reason that if we were to add the 8 centimeter side and this unknown side together, it would equal 12 centimeters. So to find this missing side, we can go 12 centimeters. All right, actually, I'll just write it above here. This side in purple is going to be 12 minus 8, which works out to 4 centimeters. I'm just going to switch to another color now, just to make this next part easier to see. Okay, we're also missing this red side as well. Actually, I don't know if I like red. Maybe I'll do teal instead on second thought. Okay, so this, I don't like that either. Sorry for being indecisive, class. Let's maybe try, what goes nice with purple? Kind of feel like orange probably goes, actually gold goes pretty nicely with purple. Let's go with gold. All right, so this side here, we also don't know the length of. It wasn't given to us, but we can find it because we know that this side on the left here, which is parallel to our unknown side, is 9 centimeters. Okay, and then this side here, which is also parallel to our unknown side, is 7 centimeters. Okay, so you can see that these two shorter sides in yellow have to add up to make 9 centimeters. So to find this missing shorter side, we can go 9 minus 7 to find it. Okay, so this will be 9 minus 7, or 2 centimeters. Okay, and just like before, to find our perimeter, we're just going to add these all together. So we can start with 12. We're going to go 12 plus 7 plus 4, and then plus 2, and then plus 8, and plus 9. All right, so 12 and 7 makes 19. 19 and 4 makes 23. 23 and 2 makes 25. 25 plus 8 would be 33. And then 33 plus 9 would be 42. Okay, and 42 centimeters. Oh, how nice. On the worksheet, they already give you the units, but do get in the habit of remembering to write the unit down if it's not there already, okay? Okay, so I'm also going to do question number 3 because that one was a bit different than the other question 1 and 2. There's another trick to that one that I want to show you. Okay, and I'll just clear this. I have to go, here we go, to switch tools here. Here we go. Okay, so again, we're missing sides just like in the other situations we've encountered, but the way to find the length is a little bit different this time. So I'll use orange. Okay, so this side, this is one of the sides that we're missing the length of. All right, but if you look closely, you can see that there are 2 other sides parallel to it. There's this side here. Oopsie, accidentally right-clicked. Now I got to do it again. Okay, and this side here. All right, so this really long side we don't know the length of. It's gonna have to be the same length as what you'd get if you added these 2 sides together. These 2 have to add to make this length up. All right, so this missing length here is going to be 30 plus 15, or 45. Millimeters. All right, and we have one other missing side in this one. It's this side here on the bottom in green. All right, so to find this, it's actually going to be the same thing we've been doing in questions 1 and 2. We take a look at the very long side that it's parallel to and the shorter side that it's parallel to. This is going to be what you get if you take 60 and take away 40, right? So 60 minus 40 will give us 20 millimeters for that side. Okay, now that we know all the side lengths, we can go ahead and just add them together to find our perimeter. Okay, so we end up with, in this question, we have 60 plus 15 plus 40 plus 30 plus 20, and then plus 45. Okay, so let's see what that works out to. 60 plus 15 gives me 75. 75 plus 40 is 115. 115 plus 30 is 145. Then 145 plus 20 is 165. And finally, 165 plus 45 would be 210. Okay, so perimeter for this one is 210 millimeters. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and pass things off to you guys. All right, go ahead and finish your perimeters of rectilinear shapes worksheets. Okay, and no funny business, okay? By the way, I just want to say thank you very much to the 6 or 7 students who actually really worked hard on that worksheet the other day and were really showing me some awesome learning, okay? Thanks for proving that you learned something, that you were listening. Because I just want to say that as a teacher, That means the world to me. If it weren't for that, I wouldn't even bother with this job. So thank you. And I really, really, really hope that the rest of you are going to follow those kids' examples, because those kids that I just referred to, they are going to go places in life. Okay? If you want to go places in life, follow their example. Quit causing problems in my class, okay? All right, now go ahead and get your work done, everybody. Bye for now.